This is round 2. We're doing another interview, but this time it was with Johnny, and you were the first person to unlock Professor X. Is that correct? Now, how come you don't have him on your roster in the arena yet? I just clicked on your name and it didn't show up.
Because I haven't even done anything else in the game. As soon as I finished, I just like collapsed a little bit. It was like I can't explain how fast I played that. It was insane.
Well, and it's funny is because I was asking you about your experience, and you're like, well, I rushed through it, and I don't remember some of it. So you were in the same alliance as OG Diamond Dave and a lot of the other people that have finished here first, and we got some interesting information, and I kind of was talking to you a little bit before I hit record about your experience, and some of the things that you experienced was a little bit different than what OG Diamond Dave experienced. So I kind of wanted to get your take on things. Let's start at the beginning, though. The very first nodes are city.
Section.
Yeah, well, you can get through that. But the first ones that require gear tier 20, where people are going to have to make decisions. And I know we talked about this a little bit too. People are really wanting to go in with Spider Society. Like their urge is to go in with teams that they already have because there's a limited amount of resources. So we have to do this in the context of 25 total characters. Does that make sense? Like not 6 or whatever like that. Because, and I know you went in with more than 25. So the initial recommendations from the developers was Blade Oath and Vigilantes. Hitmonkey is not in the game. Who did you get through it with?
I used Punisher instead of Hitmonkey, and I found him very usable. If people are waiting to enter until Hitmonkey comes out, I would probably wait for Hitmonkey. But the Punisher was more durable than even the new Daredevil in a way. I had brought Elektra just in case, and she entered a node like by herself once and was destroyed in like one turn. So that is definitely not something to waste your Mystic on.
Okay, so we're 2 for 2 on people saying that Elektra is no good and Punisher was good.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, I know there's some other people that are going through it right now, and I'm going to have to get some follow-up questions about, whether a 4-vor Daredevil modern is going to be okay or 5-5, because you said that Punisher was more durable than Daredevil modern. And what, you running with a 1 diamond, 2 diamond? How many diamonds were you running on Daredevil?
He was squished, but I have only one diamond, so I think that would make sense.
Okay, so just keep that in mind, all of you people that are watching the video, because I'm not going to be able to have a 1 diamond. If I go through it, it's going to be like a 4 yellow at best, maybe 5 yellow if I've read. So we'll see. So same story as the other one. Blade, Oath, Punisher, Sable, and Daredevil, not Elektra. And the jury is out on Hitmonkey. I guess we'll find out I think that's scheduled to come out on the 21st. I saw that on the player voice movement sheet saying the 21st. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but that's interesting. Let's go to the next part.
I will just tell you, out of all the people who died on a node, it was once Elektra died, once Daredevil died, and once Oath died.
Okay, and did you have to run it more than one time?
As soon as somebody died, I just reset the node immediately.
Okay, yeah, because
that happened maybe 4 times total the entire time I played the event.
Okay. So
most of it was on City, to be honest. City was like the one where it was the iffiest, even though some of the nodes were incredibly easy.
Well, it's funny that you said that. What OG Diamond Dave said, that the Shadow King node was the big mess with Old Man Logan. That's one that he said he had to keep doing over and over again. But City was pretty tricky.
Occasionally, it just because the team does not seem as good as the other teams is all I'll say about it. Like Vigilante seems sort of, they're just like not as good as Orcas or and the other things you have available.
No, well, and we've talked
Liberty. Like Liberty was like smoking those nodes. It was insane how good a team they are, and like Vigilante is just not fat,
Well, and I feel like we've talked about this before, the Starjammers and Vigilante. It's like this new direction of single lane mediocre teams, right? I feel that's if they're not Night Stalkers, they're not Orcus, they're just not, right? They're just. And that's they've had to rework Starjammers twice and Vigilante already once. So I'm curious where they're going with all this. But let's get to the next node, which is Global Villains. Was APOC a hard carry for you as well?
It was the 4 Orcus without LDS and APOC for every node there, yeah.
Okay. So
I
why
had no
not?
issues with that section. That section I sort of flew through.
All right. So Nimrod, Mega Sentinel, Sentinel,
Yep.
Scientist Supreme, and APOC. So no Lady Deathstrike. And
Yeah.
you flew through it because I know you were racing.
Yeah.
You wanted to be first. So you raced
I
through it.
didn't. I wanted to be top 10 to get the Lilandra diamonds. And then when I started getting like 20 messages being like, you're the highest, I was like,
Oh,
okay.
I
Then
pinged
I'll
you.
go
I was
even
like,
faster.
I pinged you when you won. I was like, wow, you did it first. I was like, wow. Okay. Anyways,
Yeah, I
next.
didn't know. I was just like, I need that third diamond on Lilandra. I didn't think I would actually be first.
Well, you were first.
Yeah.
The
First time
next,
for everything.
the next one is, and this one is the one that there's a lot of different thoughts on. This was Global Heroes. So we talked about a little bit of this before we started recording. What's the issue with this node and Shadow King?
Oh, okay. So for the global hero nodes, the final boss is Shadow King, and he clones your team. So I had brought in OML and 4 of the Liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And he immediately clones OML. You don't go, and by the time you do get a turn, I think I had like 2 characters left. So at least I died fast. And then I realized I was like, oh, he's cloning them. So I just brought in. I happen to have done War Machine anyway because I think that team is pretty good, and especially in War. So I had the 4, and when Shadow King clones those people, they do not kill you.
Okay, so
So it was that simple, and I think you could get through every note of that section with just
okay,
the Liberty.
so
But
it's
I liked having OML, but I had an extra. I had 6, so.
okay. So Old Man Logan was a detriment to the plan in that node, and would not
In the
be
boss node,
would not be a good choice. Who would have thought that Old Man Logan would be holding your team back? And so you
It's
would,
literally just because he clones and he goes first and like murders, just like straight up
yeah.
murders your entire team.
So you ended up doing a full 5-piece Liberty. OG Diamond Dave did the 4-piece, and he didn't
Yeah.
use War Machine. He used
Yeah.
Emma Frost, X-Men. I'm gonna guess that probably it's dealer's choice on that 5th because I don't know
Yeah.
how really good War Machine is. I'm not sure, right? It's just one of those things where probably we can get away with taking any one of those characters.
Yeah, War Machine isn't great, and he also costs 4 slots, but the
Oof.
slots he costs were I believe he's tech, and it was like I had a lot of tech that I wasn't going to use anywhere else, so I just brought him in as a backup, and I was glad I had it.
Okay. And the next section is Villain Cosmic. And OG Diamond Dave said that this was pretty straightforward with the 5 that he took. Who did you take?
I did the 3 Annihilators, Mephisto. Which area is this so I can look?
It's the Shadow King, Super Scroll, maybe Null.
Oh, yeah, it was Null. I did Null, Mephisto, and the 3 Annihilators.
Okay, so the 3 Annihilators, Mephisto, and Null. So both of you took Mephisto and Null. He ended up doing like in-game Thanos, Super Scroll, and Shadow King, and he said he breezed through it. I mean, I think you breezed through it. It sounds like you just ran through it. Like it, you know, you remember any challenges with this part?
No, you know what? Why I like this part of the game is like it's so much like raids, and I used to, I was the raid captain for Cabal a million years ago, and I used to have to like solve all the raids for everyone and put the videos up and be like, "This is how you do this new Doom" or whatever, like. So it's actually sort of my. I know a lot of people like the more competitive aspects of the game, but I love the Dark Dimensions and these saga things. I think they're fun, and it's just like a big long raid node. So I have fun figuring it out, and I'm also. I I feel like all you really have to do is like, if there's 2 people left in a wave, you don't use your ults, and then when the next wave drops, you like ult everyone, and then I didn't really. There wasn't a lot of thought for me because this part of the game is like second nature in a way.
Yeah, I totally get it. All right, so looks like Mephisto and Null and in-game Thanos would be good choices, and then you did it with Gladiator and Gore, and he did it with Super Scroll and Shadow King, and then
Yeah, I did not use Super Scroll
I think
at all.
Super
I,
Scroll
I
is being countered almost every which way right now, anyways.
yeah. I just like those annihilators anyway. I think they're good. They have good powers. They do their thing.
They're probably going to hold up better in the arena too because of Professor X passive pretty much ruins like
Yeah,
Super Scroll, Mephisto, and even
and Odin.
Apocalypse. Yeah.
Odin a little bit too. Like Odin gets like murdered in arena now because
Wow.
I've done it on the test server a little bit and it's not fun.
Not fun. All right.
Yeah.
So the final boss, and
Yeah.
so the very last part. So Odin and Lalandra, I'm guessing, are going to be the no-brainers. Who were the other three that you took?
I did the Starjammer new 3, Odin and Kahori, but I heard uh Dave say he had problems with Kahori. I didn't really have problems with Kahori. I told you the only person I almost lost was like Howard, and
Okay.
I did lose him the first time I was in the boss node, but then I did it again.
Okay, so you were able to get through it with the three new Starjammers,
Yeah.
Odin and Kahori. Because I got to tell
Yes.
you, when he said that he had to sub out Kahori for Groot, I was like, "Ooh, I don't like that at all." And so
Right.
that's interesting. I mean, because I for me, I much rather take up Kahori over Groot all day long. So I'm glad you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like I want to take up Old Man Logan. I don't want to take up War Machine
No.
or something
No,
like
no
that.
one wants
No,
to take
right?
a War Machine.
All right.
I don't think I would have if I didn't. I had like all this tech, like extra tech, and I'm like getting more from some events. So it's
Okay.
just like, well, why not?
All right. So the consistencies between the two videos are as follows: is that Elektra was not great,
No.
not at all. Apocalypse and the four Sentinels without Lady Deathstrike was just fine, and
Yeah,
then
you fly through that
and
with
then
Orcus.
Mephisto, Null, and in-game Thanos are great, and then you can
Yeah.
choose either Annihilators or Super Scroll and Shadow King, and then
Yeah.
the one thing that Liberty, pretty much just straight Liberty's good, or Liberty without War Machine and somebody else, but not Old Man Logan. That's like the biggest thing is not Old Man Logan, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I really liked having Old Man Logan for every other node but that boss, but you can't really do the boss with him, so it probably would be good to have someone else for that node at least.
Okay.
I like the idea of Emma that he used.
Yeah, I actually think she's going to be, well, as you know, that she's going to be great long term just because of her
Yeah, she's a
passive.
long-term
Yeah,
timer.
she's a long term character just because of her passive. And then lastly, Lilandra, two other Starjammers, Odin, and then Kahori worked just fine for you. Well, you're the best. How does it feel to be the first person to get Professor X, your superstar?
I mean, it's sort of fun. I didn't expect that today. I always assume someone's gonna be like faster than me, and I'm pretty fast.
Yeah, it was
But
a
I just always
race.
assume someone's gonna be like, just
See?
doing it. Then I got lucky today. It's
All
fun.
right. Well, outstanding. Very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, of course, anytime. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Bye for now.